What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller, and this is my Italian meatball, Brian Altano.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Brian. How are you?
I'm great. What are we here to talk about today?
Brian, we're going to talk about our top 5 alternate timelines, alternate histories in video games. I'm going to start with one I don't even know if I haven't even played all the way through yet, but I played this Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Ooh, the new one.
I'm excited about it.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it's a first-person shooter and it's goofy, sure, but it's the kind of goofy I want to keep playing, right? It's set in 1946. The game opens in 1946. You're coming in as BJ. You're taking down this Nazi stronghold. You get there. There are cyborg dogs and giant mechs. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nazis in 1946.
This is the alternate timeline. Of course, we all know, ladies and gentlemen, Hitler committed suicide April 30th, 1945. That isn't happening here. With all this advanced technology they have from Death's Head, this crazy general, they're able to continue the war, start winning. You go in, you fight these things, bam, you're put into a coma. You sit in like a vegetable for like 14 years in this mental institution.
Yep.
Then some Nazis walk in, you wake up, you murder them brutally, and then you get back to, and you find out the whole world's Nazis now. Everyone is fallen.
Man.
Nazis rule the earth. You gotta go stop them. One man versus the entire Nazi army.
So that's obviously not happening in reality right now.
That is not how reality happened.
Okay.
No, that's
Sweet.
an alternate history. So this is what we're talking about. A
Interesting.
timeline that deviates. What do you got for me?
I have Bioshock.
Ah, yes, Bioshock.
Now, Bioshock is a little different in that it might have happened because it all
Underwater.
takes place underwater.
Who knows? We haven't gotten down there
We're
yet.
pretty sure it didn't. I think we can. I mean, we know once it went to Bioshock Infinite, we know there's no cities in the sky, right? But we would find those.
We
right?
would have seen it by now, probably.
So Bioshock is about a city that was, I think it takes place in the 1960s, and this is after Rapture is destroyed. It was built as this like utopian, wonderful world where people could come and stay away from the oppression of the modern world. Right.
But then, of course, it gets chock full of racism and its own problems.
Right, because they gave everyone guns in an underwater city, and vending machines with drugs in them, and people get superpowers and get injected. There's also little girls running around that have like genetic slugs inside them. The junkies try to harvest. You know, so none of this happened in the 60s. There were a lot of little girls with drugs, but
this is one of those games that takes what we knew, right? This idealism, this very like what's up, everybody? Talking Vixens here, blah blah blah. And like they spiral it out into these different storylines.
Yeah. So when you're walking around, you actually see that old art style, and you hear the music, the old like crickety record players and stuff like that. But most of the rest of that didn't happen. We don't have big daddies in the world.
No.
Thank God.
No, that's steam power tech.
Yeah.
This is similar to one of my other favorites, Fallout. The whole Fallout series, right? Of course, a nuclear wasteland, but in the Fallout universe, they never invented the transistor. So they kept around these like weird robots that are nuclear-powered cars and hovers. So it's this weird mix of like, World War II era, like pro-America, all that like propaganda mixed with this technology that's advanced, but not advanced as it could be, right?
So it takes place in the future,
right?
But it's based on a past that we didn't have.
100%.
That we know we didn't have.
Yeah.
So we know this won't happen in the future.
See, it's the first in their timeline, which of course is nothing like ours. They ran out of petroleum and natural resources, so there was these resources wars. And then in 2077, the Great War, which nuked everything. Luckily, there was vaults built. People were able to be saved that way.
So it's basically like it's the 1950s forever.
Exactly.
In the future.
That's as far as they got up to. Then they destroyed everything. Yeah. And now everybody eats roaches.
Delicious. Speaking of roaches, Resistance.
Ah, yes.
Now,
speaking of roaches,
they have weird insectoid mouths.
Okay.
So Resistance takes place in the 1950s, late 50s. It's about the Chimera.
Right.
Right. And you know about these guys.
Right.
They are space aliens that invaded the Earth. Yeah?
No, there's the Tunguska incident, right?
Yeah.
The meteor that crashes into Russia. That's real. That happened in real life. However, in this one, it crashed into Russia. It had the Chimera virus on it. Infected people, made them into weird alien hybrids.
We never actually see what these aliens look like.
Right. We only know humans that are infected and they become Chimera.
So the character you play as the main character is actually infected himself, and he's got like
in Resistance 2. Spoilers.
Yeah, he's got regenerative health and super strength and all this other stuff, and he uses that to fight. It's sort of just like injecting yourself with the virus to fight the zombies.
It's similar to Captain America, right?
Yeah.
In Resistance 1, you get your butt whooped by these guys. Resistance 2, they're like, we need an edge. Here you go. He dies. Resistance 3 is just one dude trying to end it all. And that's the first time we get to see through the portal what the Chimera universe looks like. But then Capelli puts an end to that, doesn't he?
Interesting.
So again, the trophy.
Did not happen in the 50s unless they covered it up.
No way they could have covered this up.
You don't think it's buried in the desert with the ET cartridges?
No, I don't think so. What else you got for me?
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yes, Assassin's Creed.
Now, Assassin's Creed, a span timelines all over the place, and a lot of it could have happened. A lot of it was weird. There was like the Da Vinci machines and stuff like that.
Right.
Da Vinci wasn't really making guns for people. But one thing we know for sure didn't happen is the tyranny of King Washington.
Oh, DLC for Assassin's Creed 3. Yes.
So, King, operative word there, king.
King.
Washington was not a king.
No, he's not our president.
He's not on our money as a king.
Chopped down a cherry tree.
So in the game, in the DLC, extra story, he is president. He's like, this isn't enough for me. I want to sit in a throne. I don't want a White House. I want an Oval Office. I want a throne. And he goes mad with power. Which, you know, is interesting. It's very interesting because this is exactly what we broke away from when our forefathers left.
We said, "Nuh-uh, King George," and we came over here.
And then we showed up here and we said, "We're going to become presidents. We're going to have the blah blah blah
documents,
all this with the giant signatures." And then, you know what? We're going to be kings now. Forget it. So it's up to you to take him down and bring everything right in the world again. Which I think would have changed our money forever too. So they don't put mad kings on American dollars.
No. Well, he would be the only guy. There'd be different Washington faces on all the money if he was like the absolute power.
That's true. And the Washington Monument would probably be blown up.
Awesome. What? Well, ladies and gentlemen, those are our favorite alternate histories in video games, but what are yours? Let us know in the comments. Then make sure you keep watching IGN for the next great game that involves some totally screwed up timeline.